welcome to the Pig and Whistle Tales from Hazaroth. As always, here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go for a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So I grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. This midweek episode, we'll be going over, Cataclysm, that one. And we're going to be looking at some of the forums. Now, these posts are a bit of the more, well, we'll say they're on the more ranting side of things. And I'm going to be debunking them, basically agreeing, disagreeing, giving my points on the things that they're saying, essentially, and calling them out or telling them that they are completely right. So, we'll start with the first one, and this one is literally called Rant Time. Quit removing players for silly mistakes. They get 30-minute dungeon bans. Yes, I can understand why this is annoying, and I think it's stupid that someone who is vote kicked should get a dungeon ban, but on the other hand, I kind of understand why there is that there, because if you want to vote kick someone, the purpose of them to just get into a new dungeon, then you can do so, they don't get the ban, and they can just essentially go straight into the next dungeon. So I understand why it's there, but it is a bit stupid that people that get kicked do get a dungeon ban, in my opinion. I don't think that there's any need for it, and I think it's a bit of an oversight from Blizzard. Why the rush? These are not mythic runs in retail. Classic isn't designed to rush the content. Classic is a lot easier than retail, dungeons-wise. You can go through it. You can power through it and do the dungeons very quickly, but sometimes there isn't a rush and you do need to just chill out. Not everyone, unless you are in a full group, like guild group, but not everyone is on that wavelength. Not everyone wants to rush through the content. So take a note of your guild or the group that you're currently in, and essentially go off of how they want to play. Right? I get that you want to maybe rush through dungeons, but they might not, and it's just to sort of be a bit respectful to it, kind of thing. You want a challenge or hard content, then go and run high-end mythic pluses in retail, if you can, that is. Again, hard content isn't tough in any circumstance. TBC, Classic, Wrath, they all were pretty much easy content, maybe besides like 25 Lich King Heroic. It's pretty easy in comparison to retail. Kata player base is very toxic. Quit the attitude. I wouldn't just say that this is Kata player base. I would say that this is player base that you would see in MMOs. This includes retail, Classic Era, Cataclysm, Hardcore WoW. All of them have their own toxic player base, but this isn't Cataclysm. This is Classic player base, okay? Don't get it mixed up. And number 4, you're ruining the game. I mean, nothing that I can really digest there because he doesn't specify who wants to. But I do want to address this comment. This is the attitude since TBC. At least what I noticed. All the hard reserve, GBID, GDKP shit is the perfect environment for this bacteria to grow, and since nothing was ever done to stop it, now we have what we have. Expect only to get worse. Okay. Firstly, GDKP, GBID, hard reserve, whatever you want to call them, or whatever system you don't like, isn't the sole reason for this attitude. And he's saying after TBC, since TBC. No. Straight up, no. I know many people who have never partaked in GDKPs, and they are absolute dickheads, okay? I've seen so many of them in Classic, it's unreal. I could count more people in Classic that are dickheads than I can in TBC, Wrath, and Kata combined. Okay? So it's not just a specific expansion thing, it is just a general, what would you call it? General sort of group, as it were. or like a general group of people in this genre of WoW. Okay, it's not because of the expansion, it's just because they are the type of people to do it, and they are still playing. They've played since Classic and are still currently playing in Cataclysm. They are still dickheads, okay? It's not because of a certain expansion. Please stop saying, oh my god, because of Cataclysm, people have gotten more toxic. Because of Wrath, people have gotten more toxic. No, they've always been there, and they've always been shits. Okay? It's very simple. The next one is a bit longer, but it goes like this. I can see why Blizz lost a lot of subs during Cata. Okay, so by this logic, you would think that, he's going to give us some Cataclysm point of views, what he doesn't like about it and stuff. I decided to give Cata a try and thought I'd level a new character from scratch and give it a proper go. Frankly, the leveling experience is so bad compared to pre-Cata world. The moment you hit level 10, everything dies in one shot. You have many DPS abilities on your bar to form a rotation, but it doesn't matter because everything dies immediately. Okay, one thing that I want to say to this, yes, you do have a lot of things, and yes, mobs do die quicker. But in Classic, how many of these abilities did you press in a rotation to kill a mob? As a mage, what would you press? You'd press Frostbolt, and then another Frostbolt, maybe a Frostbolt. Then you'd Nova, run away, and press Frostbolt. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. As a warrior, what would you press? Rend, perhaps? You can't do that to the golems in Westfall because they're immune. So all you do is heroic strike and melee. You see where I'm going with this. I would rather things die in one shot than me have to just press one button for 60 odd levels. Yeah, because that's all you're pressing for 60 levels. And then, guess what? You get to press that button in raids as well. Because you get to only press Frostbolt in Classic raiding. Yeah, in Molten Core. Seems fun, doesn't it? Like, I get the appeal of it. But there's two sides to this story. Because yes, you do have buttons in Classic as well. But realistically, you're only pressing one button to kill a mob. Like paladins. What are paladins even pressing? Judgment? That's it? It's crazy. It's crazy. Questing feels so tedious and boring. You can only pick up 3 to 4 quests at a time. You have to quest the way the game tells you to, rather than questing however you want. You can't jump ahead to higher or lower level quests because questing is so linear and has to be done in a certain way. Literally no freedom on how to play, not to mention you constantly outlevel zones you're questing in and it feels dissatisfying. Okay? My argument to that, there's around, what level was it? It was around level like 40 to 45. Anywhere between that. You had very much a scarcity of quests within Classic. You could go to Tanaris towards the later of them 40s. So 43, 44, 45. That's fine. Was it that? No, it wasn't. My mistake. I've mistaken that. My leveling was around level 45 to 49, I think. I think that's where the scarcities of quests came from. So essentially, around these levels, in Classic, there were very few quests that you hadn't done. Okay? Because you would have done Tanaris, you would have done Feathermoon Stronghold in Feralis, you would have done maybe Blasted Lands, maybe the 5 odd quests that are in there, where you just kill mobs. But essentially, there were a scarcity of quests. So all you're doing is going around doing these like weird quests. It's like, oh, okay, let me just deliver something to Teldrassil that's like the entire continent away. Yeah? And that would give you, not even a quarter of a bar. And then you had to take it all the way back. And these are like 10-minute flights. So you did 20 minutes of flying just so you could get not even half a bar's worth of level. How is that entertaining? Like, there's two different sides to this. like completely. And also, I would argue that Cataclysm leveling is a bit easier for the newer player because it is the linear way. Because it's okay, you do these quests, you hand them in, you come back, we give you more, this opens up more, that kind of thing. Whereas it stops people from just jumping from one zone to the other to do like 1 or 2 quests. That's, in my opinion, kind of boring. I'm not going to lie. All flavour is removed from classes. We went from having cool and fun quests to getting a class quest at level 20 to go into a dungeon, collect some mats and get a blue. Literally 0 flavour class quests from before not only gave items but also progress your character's abilities. But that doesn't matter anymore because all your class abilities are baked into your class with 0 effort invested and 0 backstory to why you are getting this ability. I kind of agree with him on this one. The bits that he's talking about are Priest Resurrection, Paladin's Resurrection, maybe you're looking at the Hunter sort of Rockdalar and Lockdalar quests, or the Priest's Anathema and Benediction. Anything like that was really, really cool. The only thing I have to say about it is there were some people back in Classic who had never trained Res as a Paladin because they just didn't do the quest. They weren't bothered to do the quest. These were primarily Retribution Paladins. So yeah, you would just be standing there waiting for them to res in a dungeon, and then they just suddenly go, oh, I never learnt that because I didn't do the quest, couldn't be asked. Like, how is that fun? Instead, it's wasting your time, but that's very few and far between. I do agree with this one. I think class quests were very good, but they couldn't do them because I think it was like too much time it would have taken up. I think that's the reason that Blizzard gave, which is a bit of a shame because the Hunter, like Rockdalar, and the Priest, Anathema, and Benediction quests were amazing. I think that they definitely should have done more of them. I could have pushed through one character to level 80 because I know the game will get better once I get there. But honestly, at level 38, I just want to reiterate that 38, I wanted to get some wool to level my first aid a bit to get silk cloth, and saw the prices on the auction house, 15 gold per stack at the time. I had 38 gold on me, and I was saving for my epic mount at level 40. And I was like, yep, the server's economy is so damaged. It made me feel like I won't be enjoying the endgame content with how the community on these servers is on these servers. I exited the game and uninstalled. He uninstalled because of wool cloth. Okay, I just want you guys to take that all in. He uninstalled because of wool cloth prices. Look, don't get me wrong. 15 gold for a stack of wool cloth is crazy, but the economy will grow as the game grows or as the expansions go on because a lot of people are good at making gold. And obviously the earlier materials are less farmed, so therefore they're going to go up in price. What you can do is obviously level to level 85 and then farm some wool cloth and make your gold back. Pretty easy, right? But the thing about this is he obviously wanted to give Cataclysm a real go. He made it to level 38. Okay? He didn't even make it to halfway to level 85, let alone XP-wise to 85. So obviously halfway to 85 is between 42 and 43. But if you're looking at XP-wise, you're probably looking at more like level 70, where you've got to that halfway point, like for XP you needed. But yeah, he didn't get to the Cataclysm zones when he's given Cataclysm a real chance, which is a bit ridiculous. Yeah. Maybe I'd try Cata if they did a mop remix fashion for the 80 plus zones. Otherwise, the expansion earned its reputation, and it's no wonder Blizz lost so many players during it. They literally axed a large portion of the player base to please the players who like to rush to max level. Just some thoughts I wanted to get out. If you're really enjoying Cata, all the best to you. Personally, I'd stick to Era and Hardcore Plus. Play some retail every now and again. Now, this guy said, I just he wanted to rant about, or he can see why Blizzard lost subs. Why? Why did they? What reasons did he give? What? Because the economy's bad. The players dictate the economy of the game. That's it. The players do. No one else does. I don't know. When people go through these sort of things, they don't actually give their reasoning. And I don't get why. Because there needs to be some reasoning as to why he's saying, like, it's bad. All he's saying is that the class quests were bad, which I do agree with, or that there are no class quests. The questing is a bit more linear for those who are newer to the game, which I think is good, and that there is no way that you can do a rotation, and you couldn't really do a rotation in Classic either, so what's your point? But essentially, the main bulk of the argument is that he quit at level 80 or 38 because of some wool cloth being the price that it was. And again, the wool cloth is dictated by the players and the economy on the realm. So it's the players that dictate that, not Blizzard or the game itself. The game doesn't go, okay, wool cloth's now 15 gold, does it? No, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, people need to get facts in on why it's like lost subs, and they just don't in these sort of stupid forum rants. And like, please make your actual arguments as to why Cataclysm isn't great, or why it might have lost subs or anything along them lines. Don't just say, oh, the wool cloth's 15 gold, so I quit and uninstalled. That's not a Blizzard problem, that's a player-based problem. It's ludicrous to think. But yeah, anyways, that's where I'll end it for this episode. Thank you all very much for listening. Do check out all of the socials down below. Constant stuff happening over there. Sorry if the episodes have been a bit weird in the past, like few ones. I'm going to be back in my original setup, maybe not next episode, but the episodes next week. It should all be back to normal. But yeah, thank you all very much once again, and go with Valor, friend. Goodbye all.